FX, glad to have you with us at the MBNA America 400. This is a Visa race break from the Hollywood Hotel. Things getting started at the Monster Mile with Robbie Gordon after that marathon weekend of Indy and Charlotte here. Going on the high side for the pass, and then Casey Mears having a tough time in the 41 car. Mears coming in with 5 top 10 finishes in his last 10 races, having problems at this point. Right now, Jeff Burton, your leader momentarily. Jeremy Mayfield has led the most laps. But how about the mandatory, the safety caution? Some of the crew chiefs didn't like the idea.
Talked to several crew chiefs earlier this morning. They said they wished that NASCAR wouldn't do that. They felt like they had enough practice and knew what was going to happen with the cars, that if they had a good race car, they didn't want to let the other competition come in and work and get their cars better. So several of them not in favor of it.
All right, the second caution of this race. This has been a Visa race break. Mike?
Thanks, Chris. Here's the pit summary of what happened to the leaders 1 through 5 and how they came off pit road. Tony Stewart was the first off pit road, but 7 cars did not pit, led by Jeff Burton. They are the race leaders right now. Burton, Kevin Harvick, Michael Waltrip, Greg Biffle, Terry Labonte, Joe Nemechek, Matt Kenseth had all been in earlier and did not pit.
Rusty had a problem on the right rear. I'm not sure what happened, and then he had to. Dick, you know, real quick.
Yeah, the right rear tire changer lost 2 lug nuts. Donnie Richardson says it is so moist here that the glue just isn't sticking. 2 lug nuts lost. He's 31st now.
Green flag. Jeff Burton is the 3rd different leader today in that now unsponsored Roush Racing number 99.
Oh, trouble.
Way up the hill. 1 car contact.
38 car.
Sadler.
Brendan Gaughan, the 77. Caution is out.
Still coming. All right, you clear low right there. Clear low, get rolling.
Lap 38, second caution of the day.
I don't know what happened to the 38, but he went up and caught the 77. So I don't think the 77, I think he was a victim.
Let's mark it as the 3rd caution, counting the safety caution at lap 30 as the 2nd. So 3rd caution for Elliott Sadler and Brendan Gaughan.
Both cars were damaged pretty heavily, especially the 38 car.
Darrell, it's hard to spin here and not get damaged pretty heavily, isn't it?
Just don't know which way to go. You know he's going to go up, but you don't know how long he's going to be there. Whoa.
Did he and Kurt Busch get together?
Yeah, they did.
Brendan Gaughan, the 77, nowhere to go. Look at Jamie McMurray, the 42, just barely gets by.
That was a good move. Yeah, it looked like Kurt Busch tapped the back of the 38 car.
Murray and Jimmy Johnson making evasive action. Let's watch from Dale Jr.'s view.
Down on the apron.
DW, that's why I like that strategy of those 7 cars. They're up there at the front, out of the eye of the storm.
Sadler headed for the garage. Kevin LePage on pit road. We'll be right back. This is NASCAR on FX.
Mike General Dwight Eisenhower, he said, "We will accept nothing less than full victory." And that group of men, that generation, became known as the greatest generation. 6,500 ships, 13,000 aircraft, 200,000 vehicles, 600,000 tons of supplies in supporting Allied troops in the liberation of Europe.
60 years ago today, and they are honored in today's pre-race ceremonies. 5 veterans honored as representative of all of those who participated. Chris Myers' dad, Deacon Myers, also on hand. Veteran of the U.S. Navy, of D-Day and the Normandy invasion. We had hoped to have a B-29 fly over today, the sole surviving B-29 in flying condition, but it's grounded in Maryland due to the weather. As you look at Bobby Labonte's hood and the D-Day remembrance thereon, Kirk Shelmerdine's car also carrying a nice salute to troops past and present. Our NASCAR race menu brought to you by Wendy's Classic Hamburgers. It's better here. Next Saturday, Music City, USA, live from Nashville Busch Series Racing, the Federated Auto Parts 300 here on FX, 7:30 Eastern Time. Next Sunday from Pocono, NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on Fox, 1 p.m. Eastern. Coverage begins.
Another hero, you know, of ours, mine particularly, I think most every American, was Ronald Reagan, who passed away yesterday. And an incredible man, great president.
And no NASCAR remembrance of D-Day in World War II would be complete without mention of Walter Bud Moore, watching from Spartanburg, South Carolina, longtime owner of the number 15 team in NASCAR and a highly decorated veteran of World War II.
Now, of those cars that were involved in the accident, they have taken the 38 car of Elliott Sadler to the garage area. Brendan Gaughan in the 77 is still out there on the lead lap. And we need to also note that Jimmy Murray in the 42 car came to pit road, as well as Greg Biffle in the 16 car, who was one of those 7 cars that stayed out a while ago. He made a pit stop.
There's Biffle. Elliott Sadler has waved off an interview for now as they repair his M&M's Ford in the garage.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be very happy with Kurt Busch. That was, there's all kind of things you could call that.
You know,
mainly unnecessary.
You know, guys, we're halfway through this 26 race point situation as we head for the chase for the championship. And Elliott Sadler, after a good run at Lowe's, he's 7th in the points. He's been in the top 10 in the points all season long, so that's one reason. And there you see him headed back out on the racetrack, so he's going to come back out about 5 laps down. So Todd Parrott, that entire Robert Yates group, doing all they can to make as many laps as they can with this race car. And he as well has a D-Day salute to D-Day on the back of his quarter panels.
Sadler rejoins the race. Gaughan remains in it. Matt?
Gaughan will restart from the 33rd position, Mike. They made several stops on pit road to look at and then fix the cosmetic damage on the left side. They pulled out the left front fender, put on left side tires, sent them out, came back in for rights, but then they noticed they had a left rear fender rub, so they had to work in that area, change tires again.
Let's set the field for you for the restart. Jeff Burton, the 3rd leader of the day. From Kevin Harvick, Michael Waltrip, Terry Labonte, and Joe Nemechek. The rest of the top 10, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Jeremy Mayfield, Brian Vickers, and Ryan Newman. Green flag to begin lap 45.
Boy, Robbie Gordon, every restart gets up on that right-hand side, Larry, and he passed a lot of race cars.
Goes by Bobby Labonte in the 18 car right there before they get to turn 1.
Casey Mears back in the race from the garage after bringing out the first caution of the day. All right, Burton's under pressure. Here comes Harvick.
Harvick's got the measure of him, puts the nose alongside. Burton's got to let him go.
Darrell, Jeff gives him enough room, but he doesn't give him a lot of room, does he?
No, and he's not giving up either. You know, I thought that Harvick might just blow on by, but I think Burton kind of likes the view from the front. He hadn't been there a lot this year.
Well, the problem is it sucked the whole field right up to the 2 leaders.
Well, the other problem is when you're running side by side like that, buddy, that guy on the inside will get that little D-dido and jump into the car on the outside. Trouble that can cause.
Somebody better hurry up and lead this lap, because that 20 car, that orange Home Depot car, he is coming. He has those fresh tires, and we've been watching him. He's been so good since the drop of the green flag, Tony Stewart.
The other car that's coming is Matt Kenseth. Started way in the back. We know that's not a problem anymore. He's right up there in the top 10 in 7th place.
No, and he did, you know, that caution, that early stop and that caution worked right into his hands, because that's what they needed, was track position for him.
You know, I see the car that's up there in 4th right now as we almost got a 3-way battle for the lead. Michael Walter, remember, he had to start at the rear of the field with a backup car after crashing in qualifying, coming off 2 great runs. This has to feel good for Michael that he's made this track position up.
Yeah, it does, Larry. And, of course, there's a lot of things going around this week about whether he's going to be at DEI next year after a great run at Charlotte, and he didn't need what happened to him in qualifying, but maybe he can overcome it.
Darrell, is Kevin Harvick right now. He's got to be frustrated. He just could not clear Jeff Burton for the lead. Now he's going to give up 2nd to Tony.
Look at Tony Stewart, that 20 car. He just turned the thing to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to lead this lap.
That's 4 tires versus no tires. I mean, you know, even though they're only 10 or 12 laps, on Burton's tires, nothing, there's no substitute for grip.
Tony Stewart is the 4th different leader today. Let's go back to 7th place, Matt Kenseth. Here's Steve.
Mike, crew chief Robbie Reiser had not planned on bringing that particular race car that Matt Kenseth is driving today here at Dover, but Kenseth liked it so much at Charlotte last week, they changed their mind and brought the car here.
Yeah, Steve, they already had their Dover car ready with the engine in it, and they made a change right after the race at Lowe's Motor Speedway last week.
Well, that car won $1 million the week before. Had a great run again on last Sunday night. I drive it to work. I guess this is driving it to work, isn't it?
I would say. If you like driving to work at 152 miles an hour, it is.
With friends.
See Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car back there battling Terry Labonte in the 5 car. This is a battle for 15th position. Mark Martin in the 6 right behind him. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. We talked about him in the beginning of the show, DW. Trying to overcome that run last week. He's up there now battling for the top 5.
You know, people were talking about dominance. He dominated this race here in 2001. He led 95% of the race. 2001.
Oh, I remember that. He stunk up the show. That was a very difficult race to broadcast because there wasn't much race. Matt Kenseth working Joe Nemechek. Nemechek working the outside and running well there. And he may get Kenseth.
Don't overdrive it. Still inside.
Both those drivers among the biggest movers in this race so far.
Yeah, and what they're saying there is don't overdrive it. You can drive into the corners really, really hard here. But the tip is back off early, get the car on the bottom, and then gas it.
When you pick that throttle up, you want to be able to stay in it. But this has to feel good for Matt Kenseth because a lot like Michael Waltrip, remember, he started back in 39th position and he'd have to go further back than that because of the engine change.
Brian Vickers trying to come back to the front, moves past Nemechek. And Tony Stewart is on a tear. He has a 1.8-second lead over Kevin Harvick. Pole sitter Jeremy Mayfield, though, in third, 2.5 seconds back, trying to close in. Jeff Gordon restarted 12th. He has just passed Michael Waltrip for 4th.
Yeah, and see, the neat thing about this joint is that Michael went up, just slid up the hill a little bit, opened the bottom up for Gordon. Gordon goes by, Michael right back behind him, doesn't cost either one of them any time. The guys that didn't get tires, they know the guys that did, and so when they get to them, they're going to give them a lot of room because they know they're going to be a good bit faster.
So like you said, Darrell, the benefit of that staying out strategy is only temporary.
It feels good for a little while.
Well, and I think that's
Looks
what's
good
happening.
on TV.
That's what's happening with Kevin Harvick in the 29. He's running in 2nd position, but he's under a lot of pressure from Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 car. But I think this will pay off for Kevin. You see, he just moves up the racetrack. He saw Jeremy Mayfield coming. Don't race him side by side. All you're going to do is lose more ground to the leader of the guys back there behind you.
Joe Nemechek likewise now backing up in that Army car. Bobby Labonte moves underneath Joe.
When you get to the pushed on the outside like that, Mike, you just can't afford to cut down in front of somebody. That's what gets you in trouble. You've got to wait till you know you're really, really clear.
And Nemechek going to slide back to 23rd as Ricky Rudd goes by. 59 laps complete at Dover. Tony Stewart is the leader in the MBNA America 400.